Welcome to the More Life, Less Drama podcast with mindset expert and master executive coach, Prue Sulicic, who will teach you how to finish your first goal and then every goal using her simple, proven formula. If you're ready to live more life, have more fun, and reach your potential with less drama, you're in the right place.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of More Life, Less Drama. It's nice to have you here, and it's nice to have a new following of people too. I know that I'm starting to reach more ears, and that's really exciting to me. So welcome to all my new listeners. Have you ever just wanted something so bad, and you're like, this is what I really want. I really want to achieve this. I want to do this. It's something that I've been wanting to do for so long, or maybe you've been trying to do it for so long, and you just start. You're like so full of enthusiasm, and you just want to hit the ground running and just knock off everything that is required from you to do to achieve the goal that you're really wanting to go after. And then life happens. Bloody life. It gets in the way of all our hopes and dreams most of the time. And so this is what it looks like. So I'm going to use a health and wellness goal just as an example because it's such an easy example, and it is a goal that many people strive for, and I honestly think it's so necessary for somebody to have a health goal and to be focusing on their health, because we want to live the best, longest life we can. So it's a great goal to have. So this is what happens. You set the goal, and then you show up for it, and you're like doing well 3 days in, and it's like going great. And then day 4, you feel a bit off. Like you get sick. You might have like the flu from detoxing from maybe junk food or sugar or whatever the case may be, coffee. And you get to day 3 or 4 and you're like, meh, I just feel so terrible. And you start to question yourself. You're like, is this really what I want? Is this worth all this hard effort to, make the change that I want? And you start to like talk yourself into not actually wanting the goal. You're like, really? Do I want to lose 5 kilos? Do I want to lose 10 kilos? I'm okay. Like I don't go to the beach that much. Maybe it's just easier just to accept where I am. A lot of women might say to themselves, you know what? I've had kids. I'm perimenopausal. All these things that come up, and you start to just go, you know what? Maybe I should just be happy where I am. And so you just quietly quit on that goal. And day 5 comes along, and it just happens to be a Friday, and you're like, oh, bugger it, I'll just get pizza. That's totally fine. We have pizza. Pizza's a nice family night. Like that's something that we do. Or takeaway, insert any sort of takeaway that you have here. And then Saturday comes around, and you have this unknowing mental conversation with yourself. Like you might not know that this is happening, but many of you might if you're in great awareness. And the mental chatter says, oh, look, just enjoy yourself. You're supposed to be enjoying life. You couldn't even do the week. So really, maybe this is not for you. Maybe you're kidding yourself that you want this goal, that you can achieve this goal. And so Saturday comes, and you're just back to doing the regular thing. You didn't get up to your alarm to go to the gym or for your walk or whatever you chose to do that day. You sleep in, you binge out on all the carbs. You just, things just go back to normal before setting the goal. And that's what most goals look like. That's what happens to most goals. And you can insert any goal here. It doesn't have to be a health goal. But insert any sort of goal in this scenario and just see how it plays out. It might be that you want to read a number of books per year. It might be that you want to clean out your garage because you've got heaps of stuff in there that you don't use anymore. It might be simply things like spending time organizing photo books that you know that you'll love and appreciate once they're done, but you just don't do them. And that is usually what happens with any goal. So going from 0 goals achieved to every goal achieved, you can imagine there is a huge, huge gap that you need to fill. And that gap consists mainly of your mindset. It's mainly mindset. You know how to do all the things. You know what exercise to do. You know what food to eat. You know what tasks you need to do to create those photo books. You know what stuff and time you need to spend in the garage cleaning out the mess that's your garage currently. You know how to read a book. You know, all the tasks and the action piece is not something that you need support with. The support comes when you don't show up for the task. And so here, in my coaching practice and in the conversations that I have with people and in the Finishers Club in particular, we focus heavily on mindset. Because when you set out to achieve a goal intentionally, it takes more than grit and determination and just pure will to get to the finish line. It really does. And I like to think that by setting goals, which by the way, a lot of people don't do because they're too scared of not achieving the goal, so they don't set a goal. But the beauty of setting a goal, like writing it down with intention and saying, hey, this is what I'm going to achieve. This is exactly what it looks like. This is exactly how I know it's done. When you set those goals, what happens is you get the opportunity to hear your mind and then to improve what is stopping you from achieving your goal. Without identifying the goal and making a commitment to the goal, you don't get that opportunity. Because when we're going through life, our brain always wants us to stay in comfort. It wants us to stay warm in bed and toasty and safe and cozy. It wants us to eat the things that we've always eaten because that's what it knows. And it really just wants us to stay the same. Yet there's a piece of you that I know you want to change. And so when you set the goal, like I said, it gives you the opportunity to listen to your brain and say, oh yes, I know exactly what is stopping me. I know the thoughts that are stopping me from moving forward. And if you don't hear them straight away, it's something that you learn to hear. And that's what going from 0 goals achieved to every goal achieved looks like. And I just want to have a little caveat here too, because when I say every goal achieved, I'm not saying that you achieve every goal. Like, I know that's basically what I said, but really what I'm saying is every goal achieved, you choose to achieve. Because the truth is, every goal that you set, you won't achieve. And that is for good reason. Like, I want to teach you how to not achieve every goal because look, most of the goals you're setting are really not your goals and don't make any impact in your life. And really, they are most likely tied to somebody else's idea of what should be and how you should be in life. So when I say you set every goal and you'll achieve every goal that you want for your life, that's important to you. And it's a huge distinction. So what does actually achieving your first goal look like? Okay, and this is where people think, oh, that's just easy. Like, I'm achieving goals all the time. And that might be right. You might be achieving goals, but are they intentional or are they just happening accidentally just from living life? And are you achieving those goals with grace and calmness in your life? Or are you running around with this hectic energy of last minute, production and action to get the goal done? Like, I'm really curious to know that. So just answer that for yourself right now. Because what I want from you when you achieve your first intentional goal, which is the hardest part, by the way, I want you to do it in a manner that when you get to the goal, I want you to want to be that way too. Because how we do the goal, like how we show up in the goal to get it done, is how we're going to be when we've achieved the goal. And so you get to make the choice. Do you want to be like hectic and, like a hot mess and all over the place? like running around doing a million things at once last minute? Or do you want to be graceful and calm and focused? Excuse me if you can hear my puppy, because she's at the door scratching and crying like she can't leave me for 5 minutes. And so, of course, I want the latter for you. I want you to be calm, organized, and focused when you reach your goal, and not have that completely drained and burnt out, hustled energy, because that's how you're going to be when you achieve the goal too. And it's also going to be something that your brain and your body will remember. So when you set the next goal, you're going to be like, oh God, I don't want to feel like that again. That was tough. And therefore you're like, maybe I don't want to set the goal, and your body just goes back into just quietly quitting once again. And so when you set your first goal, and this is what we do inside the Finishers Club, we set a first goal. And my promise to you is that you'll finish your first 4-week goal. And again, it sounds like you're going to do that in 4 weeks. But really what happens is it might take 6 weeks. It might take 8 weeks. It might take 10 weeks, 12 weeks, 6 months. Possibly it might take you 1 year to complete your first 4-week goal. And that's the point of learning the basics of achieving your first small goal. I call them mini goals in the Finishers Club. It's the beauty, because you get to work on your mindset behind the scenes about why you're not showing up for the goal. Because look, on the surface, a 4-week goal sounds like it's in the bag, it's super easy. But then going back to the start of this conversation, when life gets in the way, that's what will happen every time. You have to allow and understand how your life is and what potentially could get in the way of achieving your goal. That's why your 4-week goal gets pushed out to 6 months, because life gets in the way. But then once you learn and understand the processes of achieving a goal and simple foundational steps that most people skip over, you then get to do it faster. So then goal 2, if you achieved goal 1 in 6 months, like your first goal in 6 months, and then you're like, okay, now I'm going to set the next one. It's like, okay, so possibly you could achieve the next one in 3 months. And then you get better and better at showing up to achieve your goal. So don't think that you come into the Finishers Club or any program that says, hey, finish your goals, that you're just going to do it in the first 4 weeks and be done with it. Look, there are some people that can do that, and it's possible because they're really structured and organized. And usually that's not the people that join the Finishers Club. People that join the Finishers Club are usually people that have lots of desires, have lots of wants in their life and goals that they do want to achieve, and just keep quitting on themselves, keep failing quietly or forgetting about their goal and moving on to the next one because of bright shiny object syndrome or life gets in the way, whatever the case may be. That's who is inside there. You get to work on your mindset that allows you to be the person that is a finisher. Like, I love working with people to create a finisher's mindset. A finisher's mindset is like no other. And once you become unshakable, because that's what a finisher's mindset is all about, you become unshakable and can show up in life knowing that you can still simultaneously manage difficult situations and work on your goal. That's when you'll see the results of achieving all your goals. But until you do that, you're just going to keep spinning in those old shitty thoughts that you have about yourself and about your circumstances and about your goals even. And you are never going to cross at the finish line of those goals. And you will be stuck in perpetual frustration and annoyance and disappointment with yourself that you can't even do a simple 4-week goal. So that's what achieving a 4-week goal looks like. Your first goal, so you can achieve every goal. It really pays to spend time here and to spend time working on the foundations. I just see so many people skipping this step. We think to ourselves, we're adults, we know how to set goals, we've been taught, we know the SMART goal system, but do you ever show up to that system? Do you ever follow through? Or do you just know it but don't implement it? And so this is what I do in the Finishers Club. And I'm really inspired by the people that are inside there. They're showing up. They know that, yes, they've got a date that they'd love to finish that goal. And one of my clients recently, we did the last coaching call the other night, and he showed up and he was like, 6 weeks ago, I wrote in my diary that I will be done with this 4-week goal on this date. And it was the day that he was done. Yeah, he showed up and did all the work. It was incredible. He felt amazing and he felt accomplished. And he's like, this has changed my life, because before I was just so distracted, like jumping from one thing to the next, never following through completely. And therefore his life was just unorganized and chaotic, with all his goals like started but never completed. And so you can imagine how that changes his life. He's like, okay, now I am a finisher. I know how to create my list, and I know how to show up for my calendar and my list to get the things done. I understand my life and the things that could be potential obstacles in my life that will stop me from showing up to my list. So it's really valuable experience. And the other people inside that group are still working on their goals, and that is totally okay. It's okay for the deadline to be pushed forward, because the goal isn't done until it's done. We create a finish line for you, an exact finish line, so you know exactly when you've crossed it. We don't leave any room for confusion inside the Finishers Club, which is so important. So if you are somebody that really wants to finish your goals, you're just like, oh, I'm just so frustrated with myself that I can never ever show up and get them done. I have all these great plans and all these systems that I've implemented, and I never bloody show up for them. I'm inviting you into the Finishers Club. It's going to open again soon. It's not open yet. And I'm really excited to get you in there so I can support you to finish your first 4-week goal. It is the hardest part, my friends. And if you're willing to do the hard part, you will reap the benefits of becoming a finisher for everything you do in your life. And if how you do one thing is how you do everything, you can imagine the impact of that. So that's what it's like to finish your first goal and then every goal. As you can tell, it's not a linear process. You know, your body and your brain will just go absolutely berserk. And that's the point of setting goals, to highlight what you need to work on. And if you need support with that, I'm so keen to get you in there and to support you. I can't wait to open up the enrollment again, which is coming in September. But if you want to get on the list, please send me a message. I've got a link inside the show notes so I can add you to the list, and you'll get the notifications about when it's opened and when the next lot of group coaching is. It's a group program. It's also a digital course. It's going to support you 100% of the way to achieve your first goal and then every goal. Okay, my friends, that's it from me. Have a lovely week, and I will talk to you next week, where I'm going to share with you all my new branding inspiration and why I decided to move over and change my entire brand. Okay, I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to More Life, Less Drama. If you're ready to finish your goals, Prue invites you to join her inside the Finishers Club, where you will learn how to finish your first intentional goal, the hardest part, then complete every goal you set your mind to using her simple formula. Visit head-coach.com.au to get started today.